The handwriting on those papers was obviously genuine, Dad insisted calmly. Victoria's just going through one of her phases again. My father told the judge, seconds before my mother rose from her seat and struck me hard across the face right there in open court. What they hadn't counted on was that Grandpa had quietly filmed himself while putting pen to paper. And his trusted attorney, Mr. Chin, was at that very moment pushing through the heavy courthouse doors, carrying the recording that would shatter their entire web of deception. The slap rang out like a thunderclap. The bailiff started toward us at once. Judge Martinez's expression shifted from neutral to furious, and my cheek throbbed from the impact of my mother's perfectly manicured palm. I didn't move. I didn't let a single tear fall. I simply remained on my feet, tasting the metallic tang of blood where my teeth had sliced the inside of my mouth, and waited. "Mrs. Ashford," Judge Martinez's voice boomed. "You will compose yourself in my courtroom or I will hold you in contempt." "She's lying," my mother shrieked, strands of her elegant blonde chignon falling loose. "This spoiled child is trying to rob her own mother and father. Tell them, Victoria, tell them you invented the whole thing." I lifted a hand to my burning cheek. "Your Honor," I said, "I would like to add a charge of assault to the existing complaint of fraud." "You little," Dad started forward, but the bailiff blocked him instantly. "Mr. and Mrs. Ashford, sit down right now or you will be removed," Judge Martinez commanded. "Bailiff, stay nearby." As my parents were forced back into their chairs, their attorney, Mr. Brennan, looked as if he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. He clearly hadn't anticipated his clients attacking me in the middle of the hearing. "Your Honor," I continued, voice steady even though my face pulsed with pain, "I stand by my claim that the signature on the trust transfer forms is a forgery. I never agreed to relinquish my rights to my grandfather's estate. My parents created those documents after he passed away." "These allegations are completely without foundation," Brennan protested. "My clients are pillars of the community. Dr. Richard Ashford is Chief of Surgery at Memorial Hospital. Mrs. Patricia Ashford serves on the boards of 3 major charities. They would never, objection, my attorney Sandra Williams cut in. Their social standing is irrelevant to whether they committed fraud." "Sustained," Judge Martinez ruled. "Mr. Brennan, stay with the evidence." "The evidence," Brennan said, tugging at his tie, "is that Victoria Ashford has a long, documented history of emotional instability. She has been in counseling since age 16 and has repeatedly made baseless accusations against her parents." My stomach tightened. They were actually weaponizing the therapy I'd needed because of their cruelty. "Your Honor," Sandra rose again, "I'd like to respond to these supposed baseless accusations." Miss Ashford began treatment after reporting emotional and financial abuse by her parents. Child Protective Services opened an investigation and found credible supporting evidence, though criminal charges were not pursued due to lack of physical proof. "That matter was closed years ago," my mother snapped. She was a dramatic teenager desperate for attention. "Mrs. Ashford," Judge Martinez warned in an icy tone, "I will not tell you again. One more interruption and you will spend the night in a cell." I watched them deflate slightly. They weren't accustomed to anyone telling them no. In their world, wealth and connections let them do whatever they pleased, including trying to steal the fortune my grandfather had meant for me. "Let us return to the central issue," the judge said. "Miss Ashford, you allege forgery. Do you have anything beyond your own testimony to support that claim?" This was the moment everything hinged on. "Your Honor, the double doors at the back of the courtroom flew open. Every person in the room turned. An older gentleman in a tailored suit strode in, briefcase swinging at his side. My breath caught. Mr. Chin, Grandpa's actual lawyer. "Your Honor," he said, slightly winded, "please forgive the dramatic entrance. I am James Chin, counsel for the estate of the late William Morrison. I have only just returned from medical leave to learn of these proceedings. I bring critical evidence that bears directly on this case." My parents turned the color of printer paper. Dad's knuckles went white as he gripped the edge of the table. Judge Martinez scowled. "Mr. Chin, this is highly irregular. You should have, with respect, Your Honor, I possess video evidence that will conclusively prove fraud. My late client left it in a safety deposit box with explicit instructions to produce it only if his granddaughter's inheritance came under attack." The judge considered for a long moment. "Very well. Proceed, but it had better justify the interruption." Mr. Chin placed a slim laptop on the evidence cart. "This recording was made on March 15, 2023, exactly 2 weeks before Mr. Morrison's passing. He suspected his condition was terminal and wished to safeguard his true intentions." The screen lit up, and there was Grandpa, gaunt from the cancer, yet his eyes still sharp, still fierce with love for me. My name is William Morrison. His voice filled the silent room. I am completely sound of mind, whatever my son-in-law Richard may try to suggest. I am recording this because I know my daughter Patricia and her husband will attempt to take what I have left to my granddaughter Victoria. Mom let out a choked sound. Brennan started to object, but the judge raised one hand and he fell silent. Grandpa went on. My entire estate, roughly $12 million, goes to Victoria, not a cent to Patricia or Richard. They are aware of this. They have threatened me, pleaded with me, even tried to have me declared mentally unfit. It didn't work. The camera pulled back. Grandpa sat at his desk, signing a thick set of documents. This is my legitimate last will and testament, he said, holding the pages up. Watch me sign it. Notice the distinctive loops in my W, the underline I always add. Victoria's handwriting is entirely different. Her V comes to a sharp point, never rounded. He was right. I'd never realized how obvious the differences were. Mr. Chin has the original, Grandpa continued. If this video is being played, it means Patricia and Richard have made their move. Victoria, my darling girl, if you're watching this, fight them. Don't let them take what is yours. And know that your Pop loved you more than anything in this world. The screen went black. Tears rolled down my cheeks. That last message, he'd saved it for me, even knowing he wouldn't be here to say it himself. Your Honor, Mr. Chin said softly, I have the authenticated original will, along with verified signature samples of both William Morrison and Victoria Ashford. Any competent forensic document examiner will confirm that the signature on the defendant's alleged transfer matches neither. Judge Martinez turned a withering stare on my parents. Mr. and Mrs. Ashford, perhaps you would like to explain how documents supposedly signed by your daughter came into your possession. They were cornered. Dad's surgeon-steady hands trembled. We only wanted what was best for Victoria, he stammered. She isn't capable of managing money like that. We were protecting her. By forging her name, the judge asked, voice like steel. She would have thrown it all away, Mom exploded. Do you know what she wanted? Some ridiculous free clinic, handing out cash to addicts and deadbeats. We deserved that money. How exactly did you deserve it? I asked quietly. By enduring that old man for 40 years, she spat. By smiling while he showered everything on his precious Victoria and gave his own daughter nothing. You received nothing because you stole from him, I answered. Remember the 100,000 you drained from his accounts when you held medical power of attorney during his heart surgery. He forgave you, but he never forgot, and he made sure I knew the truth. You turned him against us. No, I said, suddenly very calm. You managed that all on your own, every time you screamed at him for loving me, every time you demanded another check, every time you told me I was worthless unless I married the right kind of man. Mr. Chin cleared his throat. Your Honor, one final piece of evidence. He cued another file. Security footage from the bank where the forged documents were notarized. The new video showed my parents at a teller's counter with a nervous young notary. Just need your daughter to sign here, the notary said. Oh, she stepped into the ladies' room, Mom lied without missing a beat. Terrible stomach flu. We're leaving for Europe tomorrow, can't reschedule. While Dad asked endless questions about refinancing rates, Mom casually picked up the pen and copied my signature perfectly. That, Judge Martinez said into the stunned silence, is felony fraud, forgery and conspiracy to commit both. Brennan shot to his feet. Your Honor, I had no prior knowledge of any criminal activity. I moved to withdraw as counsel immediately. Denied for now, Mr. Brennan, sit. The judge turned to me. Miss Ashford, I am entering summary judgment in your favor. The purported transfer documents are declared void. Your inheritance is restored in its entirety. Furthermore, I am referring this matter to the district attorney for immediate criminal prosecution. No, Dad lurched upward. Your Honor, my career. You should have considered your career before you committed multiple felonies, the judge replied. Bailiff, take Mr. and Mrs. Ashford into custody. They are to be detained pending formal charges. As the bailiff approached with cuffs, my mother whirled toward me, eyes blazing with pure venom. You've ruined us, your own flesh and blood. No, I said almost gently. You ruined yourselves, I simply refuse to let you ruin me too. They were led away, Dad in his bespoke suit, Mom in her Chanel, hands locked behind their backs. I felt hollow, not triumphant, just exhausted. Sandra rested a hand on my shoulder. You did what you had to do. Did I whispered. They're going to prison, he'll lose his license, they'll lose everything. They stole from you, they hit you in open court. They tried to convince the world you were insane. This isn't your doing, Victoria, it's the consequence of theirs. Mr. Chin approached, eyes kind. Your grandfather would be incredibly proud. He always said you had his iron spine. I miss him so much. He knew they'd try this, Mr. Chin said. That's why he built layer after layer of protection, the video, the vault copies, the sealed instructions. He wanted you safe. Why didn't he just tell me? Because he didn't want his final weeks spent worrying you about money. He wanted them spent being your grandfather. That was so perfectly him. Outside, Sandra asked, "What now?" $12 million, more than I could ever have imagined. Earned only by surviving my parents long enough to claim it. "That free clinic Mom mocked," I said. "I'm going to build it in Grandpa's name. He always said wealth was meaningless unless it lifted people up." Sandra smiled. "He'd love that. And I'm starting real therapy," I added, "to unpack everything." I waved a hand toward the courthouse. "Good plan." As we walked to the parking lot, my phone buzzed repeatedly. "Victoria, this is Aunt Helen, just saw the news. I'm so sorry I stayed silent all those years. If you ever need family, I'm here." "Vic, it's Jamie, holy hell. You okay?" Patricia finally got what was coming. "Victoria, Dr. Reeves from your grandfather's oncology team. William would be beaming right now. My offer to volunteer at the new clinic still stands. Maybe I wasn't as isolated as I'd believed. Maybe some people had seen the truth but hadn't known how to help. Maybe now I could build the kind of family that was chosen, not forced, built on honesty instead of fear." I slid into my car and drove toward Mr. Chin's office to sign the papers that would finally make the inheritance mine. $12 million. Enough to open the clinic. Enough to help kids who'd been told they were nothing. Enough to turn my grandfather's love into something that would outlive even his enemies' greed. They had tried to forge my name to steal my future. Instead, they signed their own downfall. And from the wreckage of their lies, I was finally truly free.